is a principle that some leaders like to make bigger than it actually should be. And that is, if you want to be better, every day start by making your bed. And there's some truth to the thing. It's just not the end all be all. And it goes back to this idea that Jesus had, that if you are trustworthy in big things, in little things, you will be trustworthy in big things. And if you're untrustworthy in little things, you'll be untrustworthy in big things. And you can sort of see this played out in the lives of people. People who cut corners at the low level are not going to suddenly become bastions of virtue when lots is on the line. And people who are trustworthy and virtuous, they do the right things when nobody's looking. And they do the right thing even when it's small, even when it would be easy or more convenient to cut a corner. They're going to do that with big things. Now, of course, what Jesus doesn't mention is, you got a person who's trustworthy with the lemonade stand and a trustworthy person who's trustworthy with the cash register at work. That if all of a sudden you gave them lots and lots of power and authority, that might not change the person, right? Okay. One of my friends who's a vocation director, one of the tests he does with the new prospective seminarian is he takes the guy to dinner at a relatively nice restaurant, not the highest end, but not McDonald's either. And he watches. You learn a lot. How does this man treat the server? Especially if it's a waitress. How does this man talk to others? How does he talk to authority figures? How does he talk to people that are serving him? How does he treat women? Then you also learn a little bit about him, like, what does he order? Does he immediately go to the steak end of the menu? Or does he, at least look at the salad before choosing something more elaborate? How does he eat? He should just sit there like shoveling food into his face. Or we're not looking for like the person who eats with absolute European perfection of form. No. And for us, that would actually probably be, that would be improper for the priest of Talbot Ave, right? The priest, maybe New Orleans, but Lafayette, Baton Rouge, not so much, right? You just be normal. That's all we're really asking for. And you learn so much because when your guard is down, when what's at stake is low, when the stakes are low, how do you act? How do you act when people are watching? How do you act when people are not watching? It's a profound test. It tells us a lot about the guy. Now, that being the case, there's always a certain amount of self-reflection when you read these things, right? And I go back to that very, very simple principle that I talk about a lot. You ought to presume that the Scripture is talking to you in the bad way before you presume it's talking to you in the good way. Presume, okay, ask the question at the very least. Am I trustworthy in the small matters? And ponder, maybe the answer is no. And how can I be different? Because if you presume the answer is yes, oh yes, good, very good. Congratulations. It will make no difference on the way you live your life. But if you presume the answer is no, then you're going to ask serious and hard questions, and maybe there are some things you ought to clip out. And at the end of the day, right? I know you know this, but it bears repeating. You want to be the person who is trustworthy in small things.